Hello everyone and welcome to another video and welcome to beautiful Venice, Italy, the city of love. And we are here during the winter time, so it's a little bit chilly in the northern part of Italy, and we're gonna do some exploring. Now, the reason why we chose to come here during the winter is, of course, because we're just here now and we're trying to explore, but also there are a lot less people. Now, make no mistake, there is no time where Venice is actually empty or you would find it with no people here. There are still people here, but nothing like the summer. So we're taking advantage of this period where the situation is still kind of so-so and people are still not traveling to their full extent, and also the winter time to explore this beautiful city and see it the way it's supposed to be without a massive crowd of people. So we're meeting up with a guide and doing some of the local tourist activities here. So we're trying to find the San Marco Square, which is here in the center of Venice, and probably one of the most important landmarks where everybody goes. And that's where we're gonna meet our guide. But with all these narrow streets, let me tell you, it's not easy to navigate around. Google Maps kind of tends to get lost. So we'll see if we can find it. How is Google Maps? Are we getting there?
Kinda. The thing is, all the streets are so small and next to each other that Google Maps says you're here, but you're actually not. And then if your destination is, behind a wall, it says you're there, but you're not. So we're trying to get there, but it's not as easy.
Venice is a city completely on the water, of course, and the only mode of transportation is walking in these beauties. You can actually get a vaporetto, which is a local water bus, or you can get one of these beautiful cabs to kind of get you around the city if you need to. Now, you can walk. There are bridges between most of the islands here to get around if you want to, or you can take the boat, which is usually a little bit faster, depending on where you want to go. There are places that are only accessible by boat. But if you are driving or flying or getting into Venice this way, what you need to know is we drove and we stayed outside. There's the city of Mestre, which is just outside here beyond the bridge. And you can park your car there. Now, there is parking in Venice as you get into here, but it's very, very expensive. It's about 30, 40 euros a day. So we actually left the car there in Mestre for just 5 euros a day. And then we took a bus across the bridge. And then you take the vaporetto from that area there to where you want to stay. We're going to meet with our guide. We got our little microphones or, headphones, and the guide has the microphone. And we're going to start visiting the beautiful areas here in Venice. And welcome to St. Mark's Square. This is the main square here in Venice, where the place that everybody visits. And you see at the entrance there, just from the water, there's 2 columns. And our guide was telling us that Italian people are, very superstitious, so they don't really walk in between the columns. They always walk on the sides because that's the main entrance to the city. That's what used to be the main entrance to the city. And this is, everybody kind of walked in here and saw the beauty. But also is the place that took public executions. So commoners were executed there, so that's why they don't really walk in between. But as the people would come to visit Venice from the Adriatic Sea and kind of walk into the city here, they would see this. Absolutely gorgeous. The first place we're going to visit is San Marco Basilica, which is beautiful, but there's also quite a big line, so we're queuing up for this. And as we're queuing up, we're admiring this beautiful clock, which somehow is still working. It's an ancient clock. It has a weird mechanism, an old mechanism with weights to tell the time. is the interior of the Basilica. They used to not allow pictures and videos here because they wanted everybody to buy, the pictures and videos from their gift shop. But now they're charging an entrance fee, so you are allowed to take pictures and videos. So what I think I find the most impressive about this church is that everything we see depicted here, nothing is painted. It's all mosaics, all made of these tiny little pieces. And in the case of the gold there, basically what they did is they took a piece of gold leaf and then they covered it with a light piece of glass, which made a small tile. And then they used them and just stuck them next to each other, creating basically everything we see. And they're really, really tiny. You can't really tell at the top there, but they have them on the bottom as well, and they're very small. We are now heading into the museum, and we're walking up these medieval steps, which just recently opened actually. This way used to be closed to the public, and we can actually hear the gold and the mosaic. So here in the top part of the church there's the museum, and you can actually see one of the older mosaics, and you can see how they were painstakingly put together with all the different colors. Our next stop is the Doge's Palace, where they usually check your vaccination certificate and everything, and they check here in the Basilica as well. But they usually just scan the certificate and let you go. But at this particular palace, they actually check your ID as well, which is the official way to check it, to make sure that it is indeed your certificate, you're not just getting it for somebody else. But this never happened. Nobody ever enforced this so far, so we didn't really bring our IDs with us. So we're rushing back to the hotel to get them really quick, as our tour group is kind of finishing up and taking their final pictures. So we're rushing to get there, grab our ID, and make our way back really quick. So this first interior courtyard of the Doge's Palace was made here to collect the only source of water they could have. If you see the spouts out there, they could only collect rainwater, and you would come down and into this system of water collection, because the water is brackish outside, so they cannot drink that because it's salty. They could only collect rainwater. So this terrifying looking face is actually an accusation mailbox. If you want to accuse somebody of something in secret, you just write their name and kind of slip it through the mouth there. Just put the piece of paper through there, and it would go straight to the courts, and they would take care of it. So this rather impressive looking room is just a waiting room. When they would have a foreign diplomat come to visit to see the president or the Doge inside, they would have to wait through a series of these rooms with all the paintings and everything, and they would have somebody show them around. And the idea was to kind of intimidate and impress them before they would see the president. So this next room is actually kind of the justice courtroom, and the judges would sit there, and then the prisoners would come through the regular doors and be judged here. But the judges, they actually had a secret door. If you noticed, this panel is different than the others. So they would come in through there, and there were chairs here and tables and things which were lost. When Napoleon came here, he had them burned, and some of these paintings were taken, and most of them are now in the Louvre Museum, and these are just replicas. So this is the other end of that face where you would stick in the accusation. So one of the justices would come, take it, and they would go into that little room and read them and analyze them. You can see Lady Justice up there at the top. And that's how they found out and read all the little letters that the people left. And we saved the best for last. This is the final room, Maggior Consiglio, where all of the aristocrats would meet to vote and make decisions and everything. Tour here is over. It was very beautiful here in the Doge's Palace, and I think 100% I would recommend having this tour with a tour guide. It makes a big difference kind of knowing what to look at and what's important, what's not that important. And now for the final room and the only room in the Doge's Palace that has both heating and air conditioning, the gift shop.
So if you are in Venice, you have to come check out the Basilica of San Marco and the Deutsche Palace. These are the two main attractions in the city, and it's quite unique as far as history because unlike other places in Italy, they didn't have any emperors or they didn't have any kings. So the history of this place is very, very unique. You definitely come check it out with a guide because having a guide to explain all of this is very interesting. There's a lot of other things to do here in Venice, like taking a gondola through the main channel or try some food tours or even go to Burano. There's a bunch of things to do. We'll probably do some of these next, but these two are a must. You cannot leave Venice without checking them out.
So we're stopping for lunch here at Rosa Rosa. It's one of the recommended restaurants from our hotel. They said it's one of the best here in Venice. So we're gonna order some local fish and some local appetizers. So unfortunately, Rosa Rosa was one of those classic cases of super overhyped, a lot of good reviews, but for nothing. I don't know, maybe we just had a bad experience at that time, but the food was not amazing. It was super expensive, and two people got their food first, and then 25 minutes later our food came, so we didn't even eat together. It was very weird for a fancy restaurant, and on Google it had amazing reviews, but I can't say I recommend it at all. The pizza that we had last night was much better. So Rosa Rosa, thumbs down. Now let's go find a fun activity. We want to make a video for YouTube. You want to be on camera? Is okay? Okay. Ready for a trip on the gondola?
I am. I'm super excited.
Is where lived the German writer Goethe. Goethe, look, Goethe wohnt here. Look guys, the iron work of the gondola, no? 6 bar, 6 district. And the half moon is a Rialto Bridge, look me. Rialto Bridge and I had the Doge. And the 3 little flower are the 3 most important islands, Murano, Burano, Torcello.
How many bridges are there in Venice?
More 400. I don't know exactly because in a book 405 and another 408. More, a little bit more 400 bridges.
Okay, so just a bit over.
And 104 churches now.
In Venice?
Yeah. Is where lived the last Doge of the Republic of Venice. You know Doge?
This white building?
Yes, lived Ludovico Manin here in 1797, not the end of the Republic of Venice. In the 21 March of this year, the birthday of Venice, 1,600 years of the history of Venice.
That's cool. So the gondola was a lot of fun. We enjoyed it. It's quite a short trip. It was about half an hour. But it was really good. You get to see a lot of history of the different places here. And, you know, the different houses of famous people and doges and lords and things like that. And it's really calm. We thought it's going to be a bit choppy, but even on the main canal, it was actually not bad at all. So, thumbs up. So after a good dinner, well, kind of lunch, we're going to have some nice ice cream. So there's some really famous ice cream that we wanted to try, and that is Melon Ice Cream. And they have it here, alongside other delicious flavors. But this one's the one. So what do you think about Melon Ice Cream?
I love it. I've been dreaming about it for the past 2 years since last we've been here. It's so good.
And our time in Venice here is pretty much done. I hope you enjoyed this video and kind of gave you a general idea of the main things to do here in Venice, Italy during the winter time. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, be nice to each other, and we'll see you again next time.